Hi, this is Jennifer from the public library on Bryant. I'm just giving you a call back.
So he came in here every day for a year?
He never drank anything, though.
The kids around here, well, they still haven't stopped talking about it, telling stories, making it seem like more than it really was.
When was the last time you saw him?
I couldn't get the smell out of my clothes.
You reporters, I don't know who you think you are digging into the past like this.
Are you sure you don't want to look in my basement?
I didn't want to look in his basement.
I worked on this story for years, and I never figured it out. So this is a lost cause. You are wasting your time with this.
I've never been able to look at the statue the same way again.
I'm sorry, I won't answer any of your questions. No, sir.
I was beginning to think I would never find answers. I'm Jacob Townsend, and this is The Bloomfield Incident. Welcome back. Every week, we dive into a different aspect of the infamous Bloomfield Heights disappearances. This week, we get personal. We've talked a lot about a lot of different angles. There's a lot of different aspects, a lot of moving parts to this case, but we haven't talked enough about the people involved. So this week, Sheriff Apple, what's in his head, and why did he get so desperate?
I feel like not enough people know how hard it is being a sheriff. I get up every morning and make my toast and put my jam on it, and then I eat it. Just like you probably do. But then I have to go out and see some really terrible things. It's not easy. And I was just doing my best at the May Day parade. Just because people blame me doesn't mean I'm the one responsible.
Things were complicated for the sheriff, being one of the central suspects for a long time. He began to feel like there was no way he could clear his name. Until
I turned on the evening news like I like to do. And I just listened to it. I don't really care what's going on, but I just like the sound like there's someone else in my home. I get lonely. And the voice of that newscaster telling me all the normal stuff going on sounds real nice. But then one day they talked about some stuff that wasn't so normal.
would you say it was paranormal?
No, that's ridiculous. I don't truck with any ghosts. I hate ghosts. They suck.
The lonely sheriff didn't truck with ghosts. He said so himself. But his team was desperate, and so they tried something a bit unconventional and contacted ghost whisperer Eliza Dubois.
If you sense there are spirits in your home, don't fight this alone. Call 1-800-WHISPERS.
More than 20 years later, we contacted her and sat down to hear her side of the story.
That was a wild summer. I remember sitting down with the sheriff and his boys. Very nice boys. We covered a lot of aspects of the cases, and the thing they were the most interested in were those raccoon corpses.
And I hate to say I couldn't tell them much.
Her name is Erin, and she talks. $10 was.
Well, thank you,
Emily and
Yeah.
Mike and myself, for sharing all of those store-related memories.
I've never felt closer to you two.
That was really beautiful, actually.
I'm really glad all of you got to come along on that journey.
Very vulnerable. And I feel like we're ready to delve into the rest of the episode.
Yeah, with our store-themed Would You Rathers? Is that what we're doing first?
Let's do it.
All right.
Would You Rather is a segment. We play a game that we invented where we give two deceptively simple options and we each have to choose which we would rather.
Ooh, choo-choo.
Which would I choose?
Let's start with one from Scott Monsma. Would you rather have to live for 6 months in an IKEA or 6 months in a Hersheys chocolate store?
Not leaving either location until your time is up.
IKEA for sure.
Oh, jeez. I mean, IKEA seems like the really easy choice because they have beds for me to sleep on.
Beds, they got food.
If nothing else, they have literally everything I need to live. They're set up like a house. What I'm curious about is why the hell Scott thinks that living in a Hershey's chocolate thing would be better than living in a literal house but with more options than your house.
So
what on earth where's his brain at?
I know. Here's what I feel like we're missing.
What?
I don't think I've ever. So I went to a writing center conference, and it was in Hershey, Pennsylvania.
Yes.
So we went to like the Hersheys big center with like a theme park and stuff. So I walked through that building, which is kind of like a big store, I guess.
Sure.
But I want to know, like, if he knows something we don't know. Like, is there like a Hershey's store somewhere that is really cool?
That's actually like a theme park. Right?
Yeah, or just like, what if it's like more than we think it is? Like, what if it has like beds and like a fake house and like
Hershey's factory?
Quick Google
Didn't
it.
he say Hershey's factory?
No,
he
it's just
said
a Hershey's store.
Okay.
Hershey's chocolate store.
Can you rewind and tell me what was in this theme park?
It was just like it wasn't really a theme park. It was just like an amusement park.
So just like carnival games?
Yeah.
No, and like rides. Like they had like roller coasters and stuff.
Were they
And
chocolate
that was all.
themed?
No, I think that was just like regular.
Regular rides.
Yeah.
Okay.
But then they had like this big, huge indoor store where there was like I think parts of it were like a pretend factory where it clearly wasn't actually how they make things.
Right.
But like you could watch it. They had like characters and costumes and it was overwhelming and not that great.
Again, what kind of characters?
Like
Just-
I think there was like a chocolate bar and a kiss.
A
I don't
cow?
know. It was a long time ago, and I don't remember why, but I was angsty for some reason or another.
Would you want to live there for 6 months?
No, I would absolutely choose IKEA.
IKEA. I can do so much.
Oh my god, you just like get under the covers of some big bed and eat those little ballerina cookies.
Yes.
Hell yeah.
I think one, IKEA pizza, better than it looks.
Yeah.
Two, I would do so many experiments with, there are websites upon websites of IKEA hacks. And I would be like the king of those because I would just try to put every bit of furniture together with like every other bit of furniture.
The
It'd be
employees
so
would
fun.
hate you.
Yeah, but like I also have to live there for 6 months apparently. Here's the question. Do the employees of both stores know I'm living there?
I think they
Or is
must.
the espionage a part of like,
Well,
do I need to sneak it like
I
the
feel like it's
mixed
like a
up files
gentleman's punishment. Like you are in trouble with the law, but because of your like social standing, they're like, well, we can't put him in jail, so let's just make him live in an IKEA for
He's
6
too rich
months.
for jail, so IKEA. We can make him live in IKEA, though.
Right.
IKEA has said that they were willing to be a private prison, so let's use that. Let's call in that favor.
Maybe they don't know you're supposed to be there, so
Yeah.
part of it is hiding out.
See, that's
in
what I
which
was thinking.
case, I do think maybe it'd be easier to hide out in the Hershey store because they probably have fewer employees. Like it's probably
Like
like
one.
a bored teen at the
Yeah.
counter because no one goes to a Hershey store except for tourists that just want the chocolate.
Yeah.
But you could hide out in the like chocolate bar pillows and they wouldn't find you.
They'd never
IKEA
find
has
me.
like thousands of people going through every
Yep.
day, lots and lots of
And they're checking
store
for that
employees.
because you know people try to sleep in those beds.
Exactly. So
Try to
they're
snuggle
going
up
to
in
get you.
there. Yeah, they are. I think mostly what I've learned from this question is that Scott just loves Hershey's chocolate more than almost anything
I think
in the
he
world.
must.
Because otherwise, I do not see the choice being a hard one at
I kind
all.
of just really wanted to talk about living in an IKEA.
Oh, yeah,
That's
that would
why
be
I asked
amazing.
it. Let's do another one.
Okay.
Yeah, another one.
This
please.
is from Joshua Swans. As a customer, would you rather have a retail staffer be nowhere to be found or check in with you every 5 minutes to see if you need help?
Nowhere to be found.
I think I go in enough stores where I don't actually know where to find things or if they even have a thing that I prefer the other one. But I'm also, I'm a gregarious person and I don't mind social interaction. I am an outgoing introvert. So like, I don't care if somebody comes up to me and asks me if I'm good. I'll keep giving them a thumbs up and I'll keep being like, yeah, I'm cool. I'm doing great, Ben. Thanks.
I feel like that answer shows that you are not a woman who has tried shopping in just a normal mall clothing store in the past 10 years.
Yeah, no, that's true.
Because they are relentless. Not in all of them, but there's like a few chains in particular where they must just like hammer into them.
Yikes.
Like every 5 minutes. What are you shopping for today? What can I help you with? Oh my God, isn't that sweater so cute? I almost bought it yesterday. It would look so good on you.
If that's the
my
level,
God.
no. If that's what's happening,
It's awful.
No. But it says like check in, right? What was the wording?
Check in with you
Okay,
every
so
5 minutes.
that could mean that.
But-
yeah, that's rough.
Yeah, that's the thing. And that's why I don't like it, is that if a store employee is checking in with me that much, they either are
Suspicious of you.
suspecting me of shoplifting, or they want to sell me
Desperate
something.
to sell
Neither
you
of which are
something.
experiences I want to have happen every 5 minutes.
Yeah.
I'll come find you hiding somewhere.
But they're nowhere to be found.
But
Well, yeah, but
nowhere
I
to
can-
be found. But here's the other thing about that. As millennials, we are self-sufficient. We can Google a lot of things. So this also probably comes from my many years in retail, where I feel like I was constantly asked questions that I was not an expert in and could be easily Googled. When does this other random store that you aren't close? Like,
Right.
you literally have a smartphone. It's in your hand right now.
Maybe you could just call the store and if
You
you're
could,
like,
or-
like the store you're in and be like, okay, someone's here
A
because
lot
it's
of
open.
stores,
So where are you?
like Target, I'm pretty sure you can go online, look at what you're looking for, and it will tell you if it's at the store you're at. I think it might even tell you what aisle it's
Yeah,
in.
no, it will. I've
So
done
like,
it.
and let's say you're at the store, you're looking for a particular thing, you can confirm whether they carry it or not, probably online. And then if they don't have it, or you can't find it, or you can't figure it out, you could just order it.
I just want to take this time to talk about a miraculous experience I had at one of those
do.
make your own yogurt places where you can put all the stuff in. Like, love those places because you know I love a lot of options with my food, a lot of stuff.
A lot of wacky, quirky options.
Yep. And so I went to one of those, and it was one poor, like worn out young teenager, 20 something. I'm not exactly sure. I went up to the counter, and she was like, I have been working here a double shift all by myself all day. I really need to go take out the trash and smoke a cigarette. If you'll just stand here and tell anyone that comes in that I'll be back in a few minutes, like, you can have whatever you want for free. I was like,
Oh my
I was
God.
like, you've talked to the wrong person.
Whatever
I mean, I'm
want.
glad to help, but I will be taking one of each. I mean, I didn't overdo it, but like, it was great because I mean, I really felt her pain, but it was just, I love that she was like, hey, we're both people here. I just really need to not be here for a little bit. Can you just hang out? And I was tempted to be like, I've worked retail for most of my life. I'll just take orders if you want me to.
Yeah, like it can't be that hard.
Free yogurt. Yes, please.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Okay, this next question is from David's mom, Helen Gutschy. Would you rather have all the stores be full of all the things you love, but you have no money and you are running for your life? Or have a bundle of money and loads of time, but the only store in the world has nothing you want?
Nothing I want.
Yeah.
So I want to
The only
paint,
store
I
in the
want to paint a
world?
picture of what she's describing.
What is
in the
this
first
store?
one, every store
Okay,
has
yep.
everything I
Everything
want.
I want, but I have no money.
But for some reason,
No, you
I'm
have a lot
running-
of money.
Oh, I have a lot
Oh,
of
no,
money.
you're right. You have no
Yeah,
money.
no money, and I'm running for my life.
But
And
I'm
you're
running for my
Yeah,
life.
I'm a fugitive in Harrison Ford's movie.
so
The
I
Fugitive.
can't just shop.
No, you can't shop, but you could steal.
You could
as long as you're
shoplift,
morally
I guess.
okay. with that.
Justified.
Yep, justified because you're on the run for your life.
Yeah, I'm
from
gonna die.
What?
Who knows?
An
Don't know.
alien? A monster? A bird? A Mothman? I don't know.
Two Mothman?
No one knows.
Two Mothman. Now that's unprecedented.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
In the other reality,
there is one store in the whole world, I guess.
This is a
In the world.
post-apocalypse where I have become the richest person alive somehow by eliminating every other store, but this one in particular has nothing I desire.
and you have tons of time. You get to browse
Jeez.
through. No one's hot on your tail.
These are full worlds.
They really are.
This feels like a bigger choice than something a little
It does.
more trifling. You know, I want to be on the run. I'm gonna take the stuff. I don't care.
I mean, yeah, if you're on the run for your
Like-
life, I feel like you're justified to like grab
Yeah.
a handful of candy and stuff.
Yeah, I'd rather have that because here's the thing: if no store has what I want, that might mean that I can't do 95% of the things that I want to do with my life. Money isn't worth it if you can't buy things you want, right?
Yeah. I'll say this though.
That just doesn't seem like a fun
I feel
time.
like I am a shopper. I am a consumer. I enjoy shopping quite a bit. And I feel like I have a special talent where it does not matter what store I'm in, I will find things to buy.
Okay.
Even when I've had to like go into a Home Depot and I'm like, ugh, boring. I'm like, oh, these look kind of fun. Or, like they always have random things that I don't need, or even really, if I'm really asking myself the question, want.
Yeah.
But in the context of a store, my brain has been so like built by capitalism. I still have that urge of like, I kind of want one of those.
So that's what would happen to you every time you went shopping is they wouldn't have the
I'd go
thing
to
you
this
went in
store
for, but
and
you'd
I'd
get
be like,
stuff.
like I'd probably be bummed and frustrated. But also if there's only one store in the world,
They gotta have
there's a lot
food.
of other things I'm concerned about probably in this
Yeah,
world
you're probably right.
that I could just like figure out some weird stuff to buy.
I am picturing. Have you guys seen Idiocracy? It's like a giant. It's like 1,000 years in the future.
Been a long time.
In the Costco, like you just get in a go-kart, and Costco's the
sweet.
size of a city.
Oh, sure. So
Just
it's like
going
that,
around.
but they have nothing you want.
I also just like don't want. I'm terrible at running. I don't want to be running
Yeah.
for my life. I'm screwed.
Yeah. Well,
So it doesn't even
could
matter
hide.
if I like get all the stuff I want.
What if you hid out in the store? I'm reminded.
In IKEA.
I keep referencing other media, but this is another Mike Judge production, King of the Hill. There was a whole plot line where Chunk Mangione, the real jazz trumpet player, was hiding out inside of the whatever King of the Hill's version of Costco was.
Oh, sure.
He
Yeah.
must have been obsessed with Costco.
Yeah.
And he was living in the Costco. And so maybe you could live in
Nice.
the store with all that stuff, and that would
be
just
cool.
be your excuse. Like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm on the
no,
run.
but I'm on the run.
Yeah.
Like, I gotta live in the toilet paper. No, I would do that totally, and then I would steal. You hear that, Mom? I would steal.
Yikes. I'm
Great.
so sorry, Helen.
I'm gonna answer for my dad as well, since that is tradition. My dad would have all the money because he has no earthly desires.
There you go.
Hey, listeners, guess what? We have a sponsor this week. Twin Cities Theater Company Umbrella Collective is doing a show, and that show is called Velvet Swing. It will be performing at Bryant Lake Bowl, such a fun venue. If you live in Minneapolis,
Totally
I'm sure
is.
you've been there. It's
You can
such a
eat,
blast.
you can drink.
and bowl and watch
And
a show.
bowl and watch it. Oh my god,
So many fun
4
things.
Wow.
It will be running April 5th through 27th, and we're just going to tell you a little bit about why you should definitely check this show out. The subject of the show is Evelyn Nesbit. If you don't know anything about Evelyn Nesbit, you should for sure Google her and then go see the show. She was sort of the first American iconic it girl. She was very beautiful and started off as a model. You have for sure seen her face because she had that kind of classic bouffant hairstyle and was used to advertise literally everything in the beginning of the 1900s. She was like on toothpaste and food and everything. And then she did like some vaudeville and stuff. But then she became this central figure in this crazy drama where these two older kind of creepy men or just weird guys became obsessed with her.
Yeah.
And one of them shot the other one on a rooftop in New York City. And then she became the central figure of this crazy trial. It is a wild story, so fascinating. This play is sort of digging a little bit more into who she was because as you can imagine at the time, people weren't great at wondering about, you know, the details of this actual woman. She just sort of became a figure to be manipulated to tell whatever story people wanted to tell.
Yep.
This play is funny, wacky, unexpected, wild, but it will also make you think, be a little moving.
Yeah.
Another cool thing about this play, it is created by all women and the whole cast is women. It's going to be so delightful and wonderful. I can't wait to catch it, and I think you all should too. April 5th through the 27th at Bryant Lake Bowl, Velvet Swing, produced by Umbrella Collective.
I'd watch it twice. The next segment on your favorite podcast, the Hypotheticast. I'm not going to say that. That's so dumb.
No, I'm leaving it in now. You said it. I have the power.
Up next on the Hypotheticast, we do a segment called The Meat. This week, I have come up with the meat, which is a topic on the show that we sink our teeth into a little bit more and gnaw on it and really just chew on the gristle of.
It's vivid.
Well,
No,
you know,
I like it.
Extending
It
the
just
metaphor.
made me feel.
This week, I came up with a really deep philosophical question of designing your dream store.
Hey.
So if you could make a store, and I'm going to just leave it open to, you can either be the owner of this store, or it can just be a store you would like to go shop in.
Sure, I just designed
You don't
it,
have
but
to,
I
if you don't
have
want to run the
it.
business
Yeah.
side of it, you don't have to.
Thank you.
If there's a store you wish you could have gone to or could go to, you tell me all about it. How many stories does it have? Does it have escalators? I hope yes, because those are fun.
Oh, yeah,
Except for
it's
when
gotta.
they kill.
Well, yeah, but everything's fun until it kills.
What's your dream store, everyone?
Okay, so my idea for this is, I have to admit, kind of ripping something off a little bit.
It's
But
called
I'm making
Sam
it my
Goody.
own. Love it. DVDs, CDs, overpriced movie posters.
In giant packaging for no reason.
The worst. So when I was studying abroad in London, I did a lot of great things that enriched my education and cultural experience of the world. And I also went shopping too much. Sorry, Mom. But there is a store called Topshop. And when I got there, it was clearly like very popular, but I don't think it was in America yet. Now there are Topshops here. I don't think there's one there is a section of the Nordstroms at Mall of America that has like a Topshop area.
Okay.
But we don't have the full Topshop. It's a huge, like I think like 3 or 4 levels.
Nice.
Predominantly clothing, predominantly for like teens and girls in their 20s. So like trendy, but not super expensive or anything. It's maybe actually kind of like H&M, but a little bit like funkier and crazier. But here's the thing that I loved about this store. On the first level, kind of tucked away into a corner, was like basically like a candy store, like an old fashioned kind of candy store. And so this was my like routine. And I didn't go there every weekend, but I went there too much. So I would go, and the first thing I would do is go to the candy section and get like a little, like it was old fashioned in that you would like scoop your own. And because it was like in England, it was like not all candy I was familiar with. It was like all these crazy gummies. So I would like scoop into one of the little clear plastic bags some weird candy. And then I would pay for that there. And then I would walk around the store shopping and eating the candy.
Oh, yeah.
And it was so fun. So the store that I would create would be inspired by that, but a little bit more specific. So yes, there would be the candy corner.
Candy corner.
Fun, exciting candy from all over the world. One of my favorite things though would be like brightly colored sour candy in like weird shapes.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Octopuses.
So good. Yeah.
Children.
Recognizable children, you know. Like, hey, there's Stephanie. Aw, you did it.
You would walk around the store and it would have, yes, clothing and like accessories and stuff, but it would be like all little pop-up shops of like things that are usually only on the internet, because I love the internet for so many reasons. I don't really like buying those things from the internet because I have to try them on, and I am not organized in my life enough to just order it and then return it. Every time I complain about this, people are like, yeah, but then you can just return it. And I'm like, yeah, but do you understand how many steps that takes? You got to repackage it. You got to go to a post office before you're too late.
Yep.
Put it in there.
3.
And then
3 steps.
Order
That's
another
too many.
thing.
Oh, yeah, 4.
Figure out what you want to get instead.
Ugh.
It's just, no, I'm over it. So I want this to be like constantly rotating, like fun, cool places that are only on the internet, but then there's like a little pop-up shop in the store.
That's a good idea.
And
Because
then,
it gives them an opportunity.
yes.
I like
And then
that.
top level bookstore.
Oh.
I don't really know how to describe the bookstore except that it would just have all the books that I'm super interested in. Used and new. How about?
Sure.
Okay.
How about?
And
Okay.
lots of good
It shall be
lounging
done.
spots. So basically,
Lounging.
the prime experience would be go into the store, you buy your candy, you
Yeah.
browse around, you try on all the fun stuff that you can usually only see on the internet, buy that stuff, and then you wander up to the bookstore. Let's say there's a little cafe in there with pizza and coffee.
Oh, pizza.
Get something good. Well, first you go around and you get the big stack of books that you're going to look at and decide if you want to buy.
And then you eat pizza all over them.
Yeah, and then you get greasy fingers and ruin them. And then you can just like lounge and
That sounds like quite the adventure.
yeah, it would be an adventure.
Nice.
And I don't know what it would be called. And I'm sorry about that. So I know you guys are great at names.
Yeah, well,
It's
names
okay.
are fun. It could be called The Block.
That sounds very hostile.
It also
Yeah.
reminds me of Block E, which was
very
one of the most
yeah. Or the
obnoxious
Soviet
places in
bloc.
Minneapolis.
Yeah, The Block. Nice. The
Oh, God,
Gulag. It could
Block
be called The
E.
Gulag. That's good.
Block E was a terrible place.
In principle,
Kmart.
it would have been not dissimilar from what you described. Although there was an arcade and movie theater, and there wasn't really shops, so it would be totally different than what you described.
I love to shop. I love to spend hours. Like when I go to Target alone, it is not going to be a short experience. So I just like love the idea of a place that I could enter and like several of my vices would be accessible and I could just while away the day.
Yeah, nice, nice. Well, I want mine to have a train in it.
Sure.
Okay.
I'll
go now.
Yeah. Now it's you.
Just like a regular store, but
Emily, I think yours could be called like basket or cart or something that encompasses the idea that everything's in one place.
The cartel.
But it's not
The
everything.
cartel. Well,
Like
it's
you
not
can't
everything.
buy like most useful
Sure,
things.
right? But it's a
No toilet
collection
paper.
of things. It would be like BSKT. So I want a train. Honestly, I went a bunch of different directions with this, but I think my concept has distilled itself into something that I actually want and actually would go to and maybe could even exist. It is like the Spirit Halloween store, but IKEA at the same time.
Okay.
So what that means is, you know how IKEA takes you through a bunch of showrooms
Yep.
and then it gives you the things that you can buy at the end of it to be
Yep.
like, you want your room to look like that? Here's all the stuff. I want that, but with a haunted house.
Yeah.
I want to go through a haunted house on a train, like well, not a train is maybe a bad word, like a cart that moves slowly, sometimes fast, sometimes. It's sort of leading me through, maybe there's a boat section as well.
Are you with
water.
other people?
Sure. Yeah.
Is there a guide?
Yes,
So
definitely.
and then when
A
there's like a
skeletal guide.
staged hippo attack that they
Yeah.
pull out their gun and they shoot the hippo.
Yep. Mhm.
Okay.
Well, it's not staged. I want
Real danger.
I want there to be actual danger everywhere.
So then at the end, you can buy all the stuff you saw.
Exactly. So the point is like you go through a bunch of different spooky atmospheres. It's like spooky dinner party, spooky outside, spooky garage. You know, the big three.
garage.
The big three: spooky garage, spooky outside, spooky dinner party. And then you get to the end and you go, okay, I want W056, which was that nasty little guy that hangs from the ceiling and says, "Get out of my garage!" Like I want that guy.
And they're like,
he's
no, he
right
was
there.
not for sale,
And
sir.
he's like, no, that was a person that we don't. What do you mean? There was a little guy. That would be a fun joke that they would play.
Could it be even more specific too? Like you could be like, okay, that scene where the zombie came out of the garbage can and chased that dog.
Yeah.
I loved his shoes.
Right. I want those shoes.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
I think they also could like custom make things. I think they're definitely a boutique with emphasis on the boo.
Got it.
Oh, can I get that? But in red. Like I really like that zombie, but can
Sure.
you be more gory? And they're like, yeah, sure, totally. I got you.
But what I'm wondering is, can it be spooky Halloween haunted house stuff, but also useful practical goods mixed
Sure,
in there?
if there's a person at the spooky dinner party, which is one of the big three, spooky dinner party, spooky outside, spooky garage, and they're eating a really good piece of pizza.
Yeah,
you
you're
can
like,
buy
do you have that pizza?
at
Okay,
a cafe
great,
at the end
great,
of
great,
it.
great.
Yeah, totally. And I would absolutely go there, and I would absolutely shop there.
Sounds great.
Because I love the IKEA model where you walk through what it's going to look like when your house is amazing. That's so smart.
It is smart. Like it makes me want to buy. Like when we go there,
Yeah.
we're like, oh, we need to get this specific item for our kitchen. But then first we walk through, and I'm like, but also can we get this gigantic tapestry and wine glasses that are so large they're gonna break for
This
sure immediately.
$5,000 rug. Can we please, Tanner?
Because they've laid out this like elaborate, beautiful
Yeah.
scene that I want to live in.
And I want to live in that haunted garage. So like I want to create it for myself. I want to have those designers help me do that.
It's kind of like the movies. Like you need to make the movies special now if you want people to go.
Yeah.
Like because you can watch a movie at home.
I can.
So now movies have like heated reclining seats that like do your nails while you watch the movie and feed you, and
Right.
it's a
Yeah.
little much to
They
be
even-
honest.
You
Sometimes
can, you
it's
can
nice,
marry
but-
those seats legally now.
Yeah.
Yeah, they become companions for life.
Yeah, I
That's
really
pretty
like
cool.
that
Yeah.
fact.
I like that too.
But to get people to shop in actual stores,
Yeah.
it should be an experience.
Right, you got to add something awesome.
Ghost train.
Yeah.
Here's what I love: vending machines.
Yeah, you
They're
do.
great, right?
Yeah, sure. You put money in, you get something else.
So much possibility.
Yeah.
To me, vending machines are one of the most fascinating things.
Sure.
They're filled as if by magic. No one knows
Basically.
how vending machines are filled with
We still
candy.
don't.
No one can know.
Yeah.
And
No one
they're
can.
they're there. When I'm driving at night, I have a specific image in mind of like, there's a golf course in my hometown that I would drive by sometimes, and there was like a lone Coke machine in the middle of the golf course. No matter what time of night I drove by it, I would always see it there. It's like this beacon of like modernity, and it would be like, here I am. If you would like a Coke, you can visit me anytime you would like.
Do you think it's pipes? Do they get Coke from pipes under the ground?
No one
how it
knows,
refills?
David. No one
I
knows.
just want to find out.
Yeah, but I really like the in the 50s, there was a store concept called the Automat. Are you familiar with the
Oh,
Automat?
yes, I love it.
Yep.
Which is basically like a store-sized vending machine. It was basically all these little glass windows, and there would just be like a piece of pie. A lot of times it was food, but I do think not 100% sure on this, but I'm pretty sure it was also other things too. Like you could go
probably.
in,
Why not?
and the thing is, behind that wall of little glass cubes was like people making this stuff.
Right.
But the whole concept, I think it was kind of like we're going into the future now, and you can just come in, pay your money, take your thing, and go. It was like it was like a vending machine.
Yeah.
Let's use technology to isolate ourselves more from other people, which in
That
some
was the
cases,
pitch, yeah.
is good for convenience. It's good. I visited Japan a few years ago, and they have a wide rainbow of products in a vending machine. Like
Yeah,
you
they
can
do.
buy sodas, you can buy beer from a vending machine,
Yeah.
which I thought was very interesting.
Why not?
But you can also buy a can of hot beans or a can of hot creamed corn
What
if you
about
want.
cold beans? Can I have
Whoa,
that?
hot.
If you want, you can take the hot beans and just wait, and they will become cold.
Nice. What if I'm in a hot atmosphere? What then? What then, Mike?
I'm always really drawn to the vending machines that I think I've only seen at like airports and maybe like fancy malls where it's like iPads.
CD players in there.
Yeah, like headphones.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, I can't
Yeah.
spend $70 on a pair of earbuds, so I'm not going to. But I always really want to just because the format is so fun.
I know it's fun. You can just put your money in. Yeah, here's my $200. Yeah, here comes my
Jeez.
iPod.
That's wild.
But I like maybe it can stock items based on your personal interests because it knows all about you.
Oh, like there's a
The
column
store is
in
tied
the
to an
store
app,
for
and the
you?
app tracks your life.
Is it like targeted ads?
Targeted ads, but it's just like a store, and you're like, what will be it? But it's like kind of there's an element of randomness to it too, so you don't know what'll be in there. Because I do think it's fun to go to a store and look at things.
Yeah.
And I love the idea of there just being just an array of mystery windows and being like, oh, what could be in there? And there would be a mystery window with a question mark on it. And then you would have and it would be like a flat rate of like $10. And it could be something really good or something really bad.
Oh my
and
God.
you could put your money in and you'd buy it.
So you want a personalized, targeted automat.
The automat is the main thing. I got a little carried away with the personalized stuff, but I feel like given modern technology, these automat stores could sell anything. Like they could sell whatever. And so I like that. There is a feature I want them to have. Something I've wanted specifically is I commute a lot for work and I drive throughout this big city of ours. And sometimes I want to take a nap, but I'm not near my house.
Yeah.
And especially
Oh, word.
if it's really hot or really cold, I can't sleep in my car. I have slept in my car for naps many times.
No judgment.
But I would love it
good
if there was a
naps.
place that unfortunately the only places that let you rent by the hour have a bad reputation.
Right.
But I would love it if I know in Japan they have like cube hotels. I keep referencing Japan, but they have some amazing stuff there.
They have what you want.
I would love for there to be this part of this automat is literally like a sleeping tube.
A nap pod.
There's an actual living attendants that make sure that they're clean and everything, but literally they're comfortable. Like hopefully they have a feature that makes them not claustrophobic. Like they're open on top to the outside or something.
Or they have a big display that shows you a beautiful scene in which you are going to sleep.
Anything to make them not feel like a coffin.
Yeah,
but I
that's
do love
pretty
there
cool.
being an idea of like I can just for like $20 or maybe hopefully less, $10, I could like sleep for an hour or two and then go to whatever business I have in the evening. Because I think that would be great to have.
Yeah.
So that's more of a, I guess, hotel than a store. But I would like it, like now hotels are so, like that's a different thing than what I want. I just want a very convenient place to go take a nap.
So all of that.
That's a big automat that all of my needs will be fulfilled in.
That does
just
feel-
for you?
Everyone's
Everybody,
needs. Not just me, but like people's needs.
Okay.
I feel like that is very Japanese, but also sounds amazing. Like
Yeah.
just these little spots. Because I also, as a good millennial, hate interacting with humans. I hit up a lot of gas stations for like, especially if I'm like, if I'm busy and I'm like, well, I need a snack between work and rehearsal or whatever. But gas stations are weird and annoying places to be. It'd be nice if there was just like a little impersonal
Yeah.
cube
like
that I
it.
could get stuff that I
Yeah.
want from.
You could call it KnapSnack.
David, you're good at naming things.
Am I?
I meant that very sincerely.
Yeah, thank you. KnapSnack is good though because it's both things you want in one.
Yeah.
Or it could be called the mystery. Reach into the mystery knapsack is the whole name of your business. Mine is called Ride the Ghost Train Choo Choo.
That's a long name.
Yeah, well, it's okay because it's a long train. The whole name is Ride the Ghost Train Choo Choo. It's a long name for a long train. Hello, listeners. My name is David. It's time for Would You Blanket? That's a game where a series of choices is made in search of the perfect equilibrium. Mike is our subject today.
Hello.
And the blank in Would You Blanket, of course, is always filled in with a verb, an action of some kind. Would you kiss it? Would you destroy it? Would you escape it? So many choices. This week, the word is, would you redeem it?
Oh.
Yeah. Mike loves redemption. So I figured I might as well hone in on that perfect one love. Mike.
David.
It's midnight.
Of course.
And you get up to go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
And you look at the mail that you got that day and you see something you didn't see before on top of the stack. Because you're like walking past and you're like, oh, wait, what's that? And there's this really shiny, cool golden coupon that you didn't see. But you're like, oh, sweet. And it says, the biggest print is, what a deal. It's a coupon to Target.
Okay.
Target specifically. And it says 90% off one item.
Sure.
Which is amazing.
Sure.
And you're like, wow, dang, how did I not see this before? And you read the fine print, and what you read is, upon redemption, customer will be subject to capital T, the capital P, punishment.
Wow, just jumping right in with the weird stuff.
Would you redeem it?
Yeah, why not? I mean, I think I always feel pretty safe in a Target.
Yeah, that's why I chose Target, because it's not like a weird store or something.
I guess I'd be really curious about what that is. So I'd probably just go in and just try to buy something and just see what happened after that.
Cool.
You head to Target. You head in and you're browsing around. You're wondering, like, what am I going to get with this amazing deal?
Right.
And it occurs to you that you should probably take another look at that coupon. Make sure you're not missing any details. You look back down and, the first line of the fine print was upon redemption, customer will be subject to the punishment. But there was like a little picture of that Target dog next to it. So it, like how bad can it be?
Bad or good? It
just seems so friendly.
Is it like right after the words, the punishment?
Yeah, it's just, he's kind of like winking.
Just, hey, it's me, gonna punish you.
But then you realize that there's actually a slightly finer print underneath that fine print.
Yes.
And it says customer will be subject to a full background check and inspection prior to purchase.
Jeez.
I mean, I guess I haven't had my yearly physical yet this year, so I might.
Wait, is it?
She said
inspection.
Inspection. So go ahead, Target. Inspect me.
You're still
I've
in.
got nothing to hide.
That's
All right.
great.
The things Michael do for a deal.
I know. Yeah. Well, I mean, 90% off of one thing at Target is like, there are some hundreds of dollars of things at Target.
I'm kind of curious what you think.
What are you thinking right now when you go into Target? What's your eye on?
Some snacks.
We're gonna just get 90%
you
off.
can't use it on snacks.
Some trail mix.
Just like
no.
They have a great selection of trail mix varieties
I want this
at Target.
cold Diet Coke in the fridge. I save $1.80 with this amazing coupon.
I mean, to be honest, at this point, it's not really about the deal. It's more just to see like what is Target going to subject their customers
what
to.
are they going to do? Yeah.
I just want to know.
Mm-hmm. You read further, of course, as you walk. You take time to look around. You look at stuff. You're like, oh, that toy could be cool to have. Oh, that's a cool poster. I like that rug. That's a nice TV. I don't know. Target has all sorts of stuff. Look at that bathtub. Wow, this is a big Target. They have bathtubs.
Yeah.
And then you're kind of alternating between thinking about what you want to buy and reading more fine print because there's a lot. And apparently you didn't want to read it when you were at home because it was too dark. So the next sentence says, upon redemption, customer will be required to participate in various media marketing materials for the next year of Target's ads without pay.
Without pay?
Without pay. Your payment is getting to use this amazing coupon. So you're going to be, at least there's going to be a photo shoot and probably some videos in which you need to shill for Target.
Well, I guess Target's not the worst thing in the world, although they do like to bust up unions, I think.
Oh, that's not good.
But I guess like I wouldn't mind being in a Target ad. They seem like they're having a good time in there. Red isn't like my best color, but like
me neither.
I can dance around in some khakis and a red shirt.
Okay.
Or whatever it is.
I mean, it probably will be that.
I don't know. Sure.
Beachwear. Oh no. Watch out.
So you're still on board. You are walking through the aisles and you round a corner and are face to face with a Target employee who looks like a regular Target employee, except they have a golden armband.
Okay.
Yes.
And
Do they have a red Target drawn around their eye like the Target dog?
It's the Target dog taking human form.
and they say, hello and welcome. I see you're shopping with one of our special coupons today.
Sure am.
I'm here to help you make the correct selection.
Oh.
And you're like, oh, okay. I mean, I think I'm good. And they're like, no, I think you need my assistance.
Oh no.
And this person just kind of trails you
Gross.
for the rest of the time you're in Target and asks you pretty invasive questions every time you stop and look at something or pick something up.
Do you want that granola bar because of your dad?
Tells you really unfortunate things about how that product was made.
Yeah,
I mean, that's
fun, too.
educational, though, I guess.
Do you know what's actually in those beef snacks?
I mean, I have no illusions about what's in beef snacks.
And then they say, that's just beef.
Oh, good.
Did you know?
So they're just following me around and making comments and everything.
Yeah. And
Comments.
and asking frequently asking you if you need assistance, if you would like some advice.
Annoying.
Annoying.
I'm still gonna go with it because I can deal with that for the little bit of time. I can grab my item and then I can get out of there and then they'll be gone. So it'll be fine.
They'll be gone. Mm-hmm. True. All right.
Redeem it.
You go to the register. It's time. You've picked your thing. It will remain nameless to allow the viewers to insert themselves into this scenario and enjoy this fantasy for themselves.
Yes. Generality is the soul of good fiction.
Exactly. And you buy X. So you put it down on the tray and you give the customer service representative your coupon and they say, oh, you are an MVP. I'm very excited. And they push a button and a bunch of Target employees come up with golden armbands.
Yay.
And they all speak in unison.
Good.
Of course.
Yay.
And they say, welcome to the punishment.
Yay, the punishment is finally here.
And after they say that, they disappear.
Oh, bye.
Just they're completely gone. They're gone. And you're like, what? What the hell? Where'd they go? And then you just check out. You got your fantasy item for 90% off and you go home and go to bed. And then in your life, every time you think about something, want something, don't want something, or talk to someone else about something, you get a targeted ad that is one of these people showing up in your life and telling you how much you want to buy a product. That is the punishment.
That sounds fine.
Yeah.
I guess I can think of a lot of practical uses for people just showing up out of nowhere, like Human Shield.
You can just be like, oh, I really want a coat. Yeah. And then wham, and they get shot.
Yeah. So that's fine.
Yeah. You don't mind?
I mean, that does sound really annoying.
I think one of the other problems with the Target employees, the invasive targeted ads, is that let's say you're pooping, which you do.
Pooping.
You're pooping. And you're out of toilet paper. And you're like, oh, I'd like some toilet paper. They show up and they tell you how much you'd like to buy toilet paper.
They don't actually
buy it for you.
Yeah.
That's maybe the worst part of all of it, is that they're really just there to remind you of
just
the things
advertising.
you already want in a really invasive way. They would come on this podcast a lot. I would actually kind of ruin this show because they'd constantly be talking in the background about things that Mike thought about that he wanted.
Great. Thanks for ruining the podcast, Mike.
Well, thanks for listening. This has been the last episode of the Hypotheticast. Target ruined our show.
So I will also just say that, like, pretty much on a weekly basis, you feel like you see the Target dog out of the corner of your eye, and then when you look, he's nowhere to be found.
That sounds comforting and safe. Just knowing he's out there living his life.
This is a controversial statement. I actually think dogs like that are really weird looking, and I don't like them.
If I Were You is the next segment on the Hypotheticast, where we talk about things and experiences that we would do if we were you. I would like to jump in first with a recommendation of a store that I love very much.
Yes, you do.
It is called Tim and Tom's Speedy Mart. It is in the Como, St. Anthony neighborhood of St. Paul, and it is just a delightful convenience store. What I described earlier in my dream store, it's not an automat, but it's like this little convenience store, but they just have like everything you could ever want.
Weirdest stuff,
candies
too.
from all
Yeah.
over the world, like little deli sandwiches, but with fun flavors. Like there used to be something called a Jamaican tuna sandwich, which they don't have anymore, and I don't know what that meant because now they have regular tuna sandwiches too.
Do they taste the same?
No, they don't taste the same. I think it was like
There
kind of
was
spicy.
some spicy in it, and they're
Anyway,
like, "This is Jamaican."
but they have all kinds of ice cream flavors, and it's all crammed in this little space, the way that a perfect convenience store should be. And they also have paper sandwich cards. There are a few in existence. There are a few like sandwich cards that you can get. Now it's all apps and stuff.
Right.
I love a good little sandwich card that I can just like hold up and say, "Me, I would like a free sandwich."
Me. You just barge into the store, the saloon doors swing open, and you say, "Me,
Yeah.
it's me, the sandwich man. Give me my due."
We've talked about a lot of brands on this episode, kind of inevitably, but this is one that I feel like I can get behind 100%.
Tim and Tom,
Go check them out.
if I were you, I would go to the store called Moon Palace Books in Longfellow neighborhood in South Minneapolis. They are the perfect bookstore as far as I can tell. They stock a lot of things that I want to read. The people who order for them are amazing because they really find a way to represent all sorts of different people. They make great displays. I have found books there that I don't see at other retail independent bookshops because they're out there getting stuff. They probably have to pay a lot more money to get it, but they get it so I can buy it. And I love that. There's also a cafe and an event space in the back where people have concerts or little sales. It is truly one of the best places in the Twin Cities.
So good.
And it just feels good. They have a lot of good booths to like sit and eat and read in. Like I love going in there. I feel great when I go in there, and I feel great supporting them when I buy a $20 book, which otherwise feels very hard to do as a person that works at a used bookstore.
Yeah.
But it's totally worth it. Check them out. Moon Palace Books.
I am going to recommend something that I am assuming, if you are on the internet, has already been recommended to you, and that is to watch the show Shrill on Hulu. It's only 6 episodes. You could basically do it like a movie if you want
so
to.
little.
I will say everything that you've heard is true. It is really well written and well acted and beautiful and groundbreaking in a lot of ways. The thing I want to focus on, though, that I love is the look of the show. It is like a beautiful show visually. And I think that's super notable because the basic story of the show is a fat woman who works as a journalist. She's kind of like coming into her own and taking ownership over the fact that she is plus size. And I feel like one way of doing that, or a way that kind of feminist story is often told, is kind of gritty and gross. And like, if you think about like the show Girls.
Oh, sure.
Like,
Okay.
Lena Dunham's character was so often like such a mess. And that was like subversive and interesting in its own way.
Right.
But the thing that is so great about this show is that the main character, Annie, played by Adie Bryant, is always dressed in the best, most fun, beautiful clothing. The whole show has like a great color palette. But I love that because it is a thing that we don't often get to see. They're doing, I mean, I'm sure most of the clothing was like designed for the show and they didn't actually like buy it. Because a lot of times for women of non-waif-like sizes, it's like really dark clothing or like
so
super
true.
like goofy and frumpy.
Yeah, right.
But she looks amazing and beautiful. It's just a beautiful, beautiful show in every way. Highly recommended.
Shrill.
Good stuff.
Listeners, thank you so much for being here with us. If you want more, specifically if you would like to find us on the internet, you can.
I do.
You can find us on Facebook, like our page. We post lots of fun questions you can answer. You could also become a member of our super selective, fun fan group called the Hypotheticast Fan Collaboratory.
As long as you're subject to the punishment.
And we'll show up and try to sell you stuff all the time. You could also find us on Instagram. We are hypotheticast_IG. Twitter, our website is hypotheticast.club, or you could send us a cute little message via our email, which is hypotheticast@gmail.com.
Yeah, we love to interact with you on our social media posts, and if you share them, that helps us get the word out. We also love it when you leave us a review on iTunes or any podcast app. We didn't get any reviews to read this week, so I'm going to read a review of the Blu-ray of The Wolf of Wall Street here. It got 1 star from Shiva P. This reviewer was upset. The review says 1 star because there were no wolves in the movie.
Fair point.
Yeah.
Honestly, yeah, that makes sense. I wanted it to really be kind of like a bull in a china shop situation, but with Wall Street and money and a wolf, and it wasn't. I'm with you, Sheila P. or whatever.
Shiva.
Excuse me. I'm with you, Shiva P.
So if you leave us a review of this podcast, we will read that on the show instead of that review. So
we will
go
be
ahead.
reading that review every week until somebody writes a review of our show.
We love hearing from you.
Thank you to Jaden James and The Hunger for their song Killin' It from their album Raw. And thank you also to Christian Hagen for his logo that he made for us. Thank you to you, every single listener that's listening right now. You are great. You are cute. And you're doing a great job, especially because you made the choice to listen to this podcast, but for other reasons as well. I assume you're nailing it.
We have one final segment. It is called No Questions Asked. In this segment, we ask one would you rather question, and then we all answer it, and we can't ask any more questions.
Yeah.
This is from Middle K Missy on Instagram. She asks, would you rather be locked overnight in a dollar store or a Spencer's Gifts?
Dollar store.
Dollar store.
Dollar store. Sorry, Spencer.
Sorry, Spencer. Your gifts are stupid. Bye.
I can't spend 10 minutes in a Spencer's
Oh,
Gifts.
I know, I would die.
Thanks so much, listeners.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
What a blessing.
You should watch the show Maniac.
Yes.
Because in that show, there is actually, it's set in the future, but like a near future. So there's people can, if they can't pay for something, they can say, I'll take, I forget what they call it on the show. I'll do this option. And then someone comes out of, like there's a round and the person just comes to them and then tries to sell them something for the next hour.
Nice. Okay.
And that's how they pay for like their sandwich.
With ad space. They make themselves ad space to
Yeah.
pay for a sandwich.
That's
That's a good
amazing.
idea. Yeah.
Happy April.
Too bad we didn't think of a fun prank for our listeners, eh?